and doing the behaviors gives you the opportunity to hit the home run. So we talk about the success triangles here as BAT, the bat sometimes, and I think baseball or possibly cricket could apply here. That like you can't get the run if you don't get the at bats, right? You have to at least step up there and get the at bat, and then if you're scared, if your attitude's messed up and you duck away from the ball and you jump out of the box, you're not gonna do well. And then if you get those two things right, the T and the technique is really how good can we get at hitting the ball. And that's the practice and other things that improve the skill at it. But for me, that behavior is like we have to at least have the guts to do the activity. If we do the activity, we can improve our confidence and we can improve our technique over time. And that's what makes behavior so valuable for me.
Absolutely. So there's the three elements, Mike, what you've picked up on. Let me give it from the UK version of this. So I'm in my training centre in Bristol, UK at the moment, and I'll be talking to new prospects, onboarding new clients. And onboarding is a good thing to do. Every company should have that for their clients, their employees, building a new team. But behaviours, attitude, techniques. And people say, well, Berkeley, what do you mean? So, okay, well, behaviour, the things that we are in control of, control the controllables, which you touched on there. So the prospecting plan, of course, is a good example of a behavior. If we don't have a plan, we ain't going to do it. And then the attitude, mindset, maybe it's a marketplace you're in. I hate the industry. I hate the marketplace we're in. I hate the company I work for. You ain't going to do well on that one, are you? It's a job, isn't it? Well, sales leaders look out for those people. And then there's just me, myself, and I. That's all that's left. So the conceptual blockers kick in. Pick up the phone, have a chat with that meeting that you went to last week because they've called off on the meeting we arranged for this morning. I'd rather send an email because I feel more comfortable that way, right? Whenever you sent an email before, how's that gone? Nobody gets back to me. So should we keep doing that? Yeah, wait a minute. So we need to change the attitude on that one. And then we'll touch on techniques in a minute. But I could be the best skilled person on the planet. But if I'm not choosing to implement, which needs a strong attitude coupled with behavior, it ain't going to happen. I've just got all these skills. I'm the most educated person sat at my desk. That's all I've got.
Now, as we move to technique here, I think it is interesting and important to note for everybody that is familiar with Sandler that some of these rules can fit in any of the buckets. We have a ton of techniques around every part of the sales process and sales cycle. And so we wanted to feature the majority of the rules here, but obviously, like you said, they all tie in together. The attitude can affect the rule or the behavior. And then some of these specifically are situational in what we're trying to accomplish. And that makes them more techniques, tactics, or strategies here as specific parts of the process. Do any of these jump out for you?
They do. So on the technique side of it, now luckily at Summit, people picked these in some sort of order, which made it easy for me to follow. And the AV team were kind enough to shine a light and zoom in on these particular rules. So we actually went rule 25, first of all, which is a bit where the most, I'm not going to get it word for word, but the most popular thing people like to talk about is themselves. So I think I've got that slightly out. But then it goes back to almost that bit about people don't argue their own data. So now I've got technique and attitude working together, where if I just show up to a meeting, and this expression makes everybody here in my training room laugh, if I show up and throw up, okay, I've got loads of information. Mainly I'm doing that because I might not be confident in the sales approach. So I'll tell you what I am confident about is the information that I do know. I know a bit about our product. I know a bit about our company. We're the third largest provider of. We've done this. We've won customer service award, this, that, and the other. And yeah. It's a boring. It's a yawn match, isn't it? So yeah. How much longer have you got, Berkeley? So we get people talking about themselves, find out what's going on. And one of the ways that I approach my clients of this is a set of what's called connect questions. What's questions about their industry, their marketplace, the company themselves, and then the person themselves. I think it's absolutely flattering. Mike, if I was engaging with you and you as a prospect for me, and I didn't do any pre-preparation. Mike, I remember you took the call last week, but I can't remember what we was going to talk about. Oh, great. What a terrible way to start it. If I was to say, Mike, in preparation for this call, yesterday afternoon, I was doing a bit of research. I had a quick whiz around your website. I noticed that document you wrote about XYZ in the industry. That's fascinating. At least I can connect with you, and it's an excuse for you to tell me what's going on. Because the other rule that we've got to avoid here is if the salesperson is talking, the buyer isn't buying. So I need to get you talking. I want you talking. And this makes me laugh, Mike. I'm going to segue slightly on the same subject. When that rule comes out of we want the prospects, the buyers, to be talking 70% of the time, we're going to talk 30%. Now, the bit that makes me laugh here, Mike, is how on earth am I going to measure that? I can measure it afterwards if I record the call and work it all out and maybe get the tool Gong to do that. So the golden rule here is they need to talk twice as much as me, minimum, ideally. And then we know we can feel ourselves do it sometimes where stop talking now because I'm just giving away free consultancy. It ain't working anyway. So let's get them talking about themselves. So that's a great technique. And then we've got about 58 techniques of effective questions and talking and communication there, Mike, as you know.